the Mount Vernon Ladies Association was able to take a more active role in trying to restore Mount Vernon back to 1799, which is the last year of George Washington's life. This is the large dining room. I don't know if you can really see this picture very well, but there's a big table here, a huge portrait of George Washington, cases, trinkets, furniture. None of this, of course, was original or accurate, because when the ladies took over Mount Vernon, there were just a handful of objects. So they really spent the better part of their days not only restoring Mount Vernon, but also trying to get the original objects back. And luckily for us, a lot of the descendants and family members were very kind to return many, many objects. So this is how the large dining room looks today, a very big juxtaposition. And the Mount Vernon Ladies Association continues to own and operate Mount Vernon 150 years later. And so in 2010, we'll be celebrating the 150th anniversary of Mount Vernon being taken over by the ladies and then open to the public. And to recognize that, we'll be doing some special events, but also a year-long exhibition where we are trying to bring back many objects that have still not returned to Mount Vernon. So that'll be the bulk of what we're focusing on in the next couple of years. And so I encourage, if any of you happen to have an original Washington artifact tucked away, let us know, because we really are actually actively searching for some more objects to return to Mount Vernon. So, any questions? Yes, sir.
Different West Ford descendants have told stories pertaining to West Ford being very responsible for the initial restoration information that was given to the ladies.
My understanding, and again, I'm not a historian, but my understanding from just being at Mount Vernon for several years is that the former slaves were very helpful, and family members from the former slaves, because they not only had this first-hand information that had been passed down to their family members, but also they did actively assist in working at Mount Vernon as free people, of course.
Right, because I think at that point in time, West Ford was the overseer of the estate, and also he was put in charge of actually moving General Washington from the original tomb to the present tomb.
In the early 1830s?
Yes.
That could be. I haven't heard that, but that very well could be.
Well, we have some documentation today.
And I know you're speaking about West Ford a little bit later. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give what basic information I have, and I was curious to know as to whether or not that was going to be included within your presentation.
Any other questions? Yes.
Just a footnote about Edward Everett.
Yes.
In the 1860s, he was the foremost orator in the United States, so much so that on November 19, 1863, he delivered the keynote speech at Gettysburg to dedicate the National Cemetery. Spoke for 2 hours. Of course, nobody has any idea what he said nowadays. He was followed by Abraham Lincoln, who only spoke for about 2 hours, 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
It's true. It's interesting to think about that time where people would go to pay to hear someone speak, and for hours, and that was entertainment. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much.